The top stories. Minister says flogging's bad for today's kids. Postmortem on Shemar Weekes suspended, his mother speaks. Police chief loses in gun license case. And the Wendy's board wants to hear from you. Welcome to Nation News for Tuesday, May the 19th, 2015. We begin with news that a mosquito infestation has forced the authorities to close the St. George Secondary School on Wednesday to allow for fogging in the area. A statement issued by the Government Information Service explained that the move is in response to the rapid increase in the number of mosquitoes. Students studying CXC Mathematics on Wednesday have been asked to report to the Ministry of Education at 8:30. The same applies to those taking CXC accounts on Thursday. Parents and guardians will be notified if the closure is extended. Minister of Education Ronald Jones has restated his opposition to flogging. He told a workshop for secondary school principals and their deputies that it is not the best way to discipline children. He said corporal punishment may stop deviant behavior for a time, but it eventually leads to a buildup of anger in young people. He said the Barbados of today is different to that of the 20th century and new solutions have to be explored. The Barbados Horticultural Society has won gold medal number 17 at the world-famous Chelsea Flower Show in London. This year, the Society sought to recreate a Bayesian gully in the heart of the British capital as the exhibit. The display features the recorded sounds of whistling frogs and crickets. More than 150,000 people are expected to view the exhibit over the course of this week. The post-mortem on the body of Shemar Weekes, the 12-year-old boy who died in mysterious circumstances last week, has not been completed. The examination to determine the cause of death was halted about an hour and a half after it started. Officials said it will continue on Wednesday. Shemar's mother, Julianne, who was present at the autopsy, broke her silence on Monday in an interview with Nation News.
I love all my children. Those people out there just talking what they want to say. They don't know what's going on. They just want to say what they want to say and say in the paper. That is all. I don't mix up with nobody. I just go work, come home. That's it. Speak good evening or good night, but I didn't mix up with all the neighbors.
To hear more from Julianne Weekes, log on to nationnews.com. Sports shooters have scored a victory in court over the Commissioner of Police. They've been given the go-ahead to renew their gun licenses after the Commissioner had suspended the process. An attorney for the litigants, Wilfred Abrams, wants to know why the police chief took the action.
So our contempt application came because after that injunction, there was still a period of time, about 2 weeks, where people were going and being told they have no instructions to renew, they can't be renewed. So my client was forced, he was one of the victims of that, he was forced to file the contempt proceedings because he's a law-abiding citizen and he did not want to find himself in a position where he had an unlicensed firearm, not because he refused to do it, but because the firearms department refused to take his money and give him a license. So although the commissioner has started back, yes, if there was a contempt or if the court finds that there was a contempt or the circumstances point to the fact that there was a contempt, that contempt has been purged. But you still need answers as to why the refusal was done in the first place and why it continued even after an order from the court.
Up next is Geraldine Edward with the weekly commentary.
It is unfortunate that we live in a society where some people are tried, judged and convicted in the court of public opinion with very few facts on the table. Such is the case with Julianne Weekes, who has borne the scorn and vitriol of Barbadians, especially on social media, in the wake of her 12-year-old son's suspected suicide. We have the right to demand an investigation. We do not have the right to make unfounded accusations. What we can do is agitate for functioning systems to be put in place to help the most vulnerable in our society. Children are our most precious citizens, and every effort must be made to ensure that they are protected.
Sport now, and a question. Do you have an opinion on West Indies cricket? Well, the Regional Cricket Board wants to hear from you. The board will be staging a series of town hall meetings starting on Friday at UWE Cave Hill. President Dave Cameron says that in addition to hearing from the public, fans will also find out some of the board's plans. And finally, an update on a story brought to you last month about the Chinese man whose 17 girlfriends discovered each other while visiting him in hospital after an accident. Well, he's been arrested on fraud charges. The girlfriends set up an online chat forum called Revenge Alliance to share details of their relationship to him, and then found he had asked some of them for large sums of money each month. Identified by the surname Yuan, he was recently put under criminal detention stemming from charges of fraud, reports the South China Morning Post. And that's Nation News for Tuesday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And remember to pick up your Midweek Nation on Wednesday or subscribe to our e-paper.